he was forced to learn humiliating tricks, balancing on a tiny stool that creaked under his weight, wearing a foolish, colorful hat, and kicking a giant ball for the amusement of a roaring, faceless crowd. Each night in a cold, barren enclosure, his mother's scent was his only comfort, a whisper of the life stolen from him. The laughter of the crowds echoed in his ears, but beneath the fear and humiliation, a quiet ember of defiance began to glow. But a runt elephant is still an elephant. He grew beyond the confines of his cage, his strength surprising his captors. The pocket pachyderm was becoming a giant. One night, fueled by a yearning for his mother in the savannah, he tested the bars of his enclosure. He pushed harder, and with a screech of tortured metal, he was free. His journey home was a long trek, guided by instinct and memory. He followed the sun and the stars, his massive form a silent specter moving across the plains. One dawn, he scented something familiar, but it was tainted with the sharp, acrid smell of fear and humans. He crested a ridge and froze. Below, elephants were cornered against a rock face by poachers. His eyes scanned the terrified animals, and then he saw her. She stood protectively in front of the others, her body trembling but defiant. A poacher raised his rifle, taking aim. Something primal erupted within Enzi. A roar tore from his chest, a sound born of years of pain, loss, and rage. The ground shook under his colossal weight as he descended upon the scene, a mountain of avenging flesh and bone. He was bigger than any elephant the poachers had ever seen. They dropped their weapons and fled in terror. Enzi didn't stop until they were specks on the horizon. He turned back to the stunned, silent herd. They stared at this magnificent giant who had saved them, their eyes filled with awe and confusion. They didn't recognize the scarred, massive bull. Enzi walked slowly toward Alara, his heart aching with a decade of longing. He stopped before her, lowered his great head, and looked into the eyes he had never forgotten. In a voice softened by memory, a low, gentle rumble that was just for her, he said one word: "Mom!" She took a hesitant step forward, her trunk reaching out to trace the lines of a long, jagged scar along his flank. She inhaled his scent, and beneath the layers of dust and distance, she found the familiar, cherished smell of her lost son. The runt, impossible. This is a titan, a king. One who had once taken pleasure in chasing the small calf away, now lowered his head in shame. "We were cruel to him," he murmured, his words barely audible. "We cast him out, and he has returned as our savior." Collective regret. The runt they had scorned, the pocket pachyderm of human mockery, now stood before them as the most powerful protector they had ever known. He had worn their scorn like armor and returned wearing a crown of scars and dust. In that moment, he was no longer a flaw, he was their legend. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.